Hello to everybody. I'm Hans Mosler. I'm a professor at the University of Zurich, working at EAWAG in the Department of Environmental Social Sciences, and I'm the head of the Environmental and Health Psychology group. I will present you the module about hygiene promotion using a systematic behavior change approach, and what this means I will show you in a few minutes. But let me share some experiences with you first. There was an implementation of water supply, but people still used unsafe wells. I'm referring to Haiti after the earthquake. Building of toilets, but nearly no use or very inadequate use, as you see here. Or we introduced hand washing and there was nearly no or low compliance. So the question arises, how to introduce behavior change? We do promotion of behavior and expect behavior change. But there's a very important statement. Behavior change starts in the head of the people. What does it mean? That something in the mindset of the persons has to change. And what exactly has to change? We call it factors, behavioral factors or psychosocial factors, like knowledge, perceived social pressure, attitudes, beliefs about costs and benefits, and so on. And very important is also that we make use of the difference between the doers and the non-doers, because these are different. They have to be different because they show different behaviors. So here you see that the doers and the non-doers are different in the factor C minus and in the factor B minus. So in the first step, we need to identify the behavioral factors. In the second step, then, we want to measure and calculate these factors. Then we select the behavior change techniques accordingly, and accordingly means that we select behavior change techniques which change C or B. A, we don't have to change. Then we design and implement the software, and at the end we want to monitor, we want to evaluate behavior change and the behavioral factors. Whether we really change C and B, that's here the point. So we have 4 phases: tools and outputs. The last phase I will not introduce here because many times in emergencies you don't have the time and the resources. So I begin with the first step here: identify potential behavioral and contextual factors. First, I would like to jump with you in a promotional situation like this one. Imagine you are standing behind this desk and you are promoting chlorination of drinking water. And before you talk, you have to think what these people think. So what might it be? Am I at risk? Why? How to do it? How should I do it, really? What does it cost? What does it bring? Chlorination costs, of course. Do I like it? Do I like it to drink chlorinated water? What will others say if I chlorinate my water? Can I do it? Or do I need additional devices? And how to manage it in the daily life. So these thoughts can easily be arranged into 5 blocks of factors: risk factors, attitude factors, norm factors, ability factors, and self-regulation factors. And this is the Ranner's model. Risk factors are a person's understanding and awareness of the health risk. Attitude factors are a person's positive or negative stance towards a behavior. Norm factors are represent the perceived social pressure. And ability factors are about the confidence a person has in his or her ability to perform a behavior. And self-regulation factors are a person's attempts to plan and self-monitor a behavior and to manage conflicting goals and distracting cues. On the left side, here you see the behavior change techniques, from which we know that we can change exactly these factors here. These factors are the drivers of behavior. On the right side, behavior, intention, and habits. Down here, you have the context, the moderating context, which might influence also the behavior. I now know which behavioral factors I have to test, and now I want to measure and determine these behavioral factors. And we do that with a standardized questionnaire. We have, for example, here the norms, and the others factor, others disapproval. People who are important to you, do they rather approve or disapprove if you practice open defecation or if you use a latrine? From 1, nearly all disapprove, to 5, nearly all approve. Then we do a doer-non-doer analysis. You see here the doers are the latrine users and the non-doers the non-users of latrines. And you see for person A to W the score in perceived effort and the score in others' approval. Now we can calculate the mean score for both. And then look how big is the difference. And here for the perceived effort, the difference is not that big. So we can leave this factor. But the difference in others' approval, there's a big difference. So we have to target exactly this factor. Okay, we know now the behavioral factors which we have to change. Now we select the behavior change techniques. This we do with a catalog of 36 behavior change techniques. This is quite new for you, that there's a catalog of behavior change techniques. Normally you have a program like CLTS or CHC or FAST, but this is a catalog, and the advantage here is that for each of these factors, behavioral factors, you have behavior change techniques which we know that you can change this factor with. So for example, others' behavior, prompt public commitment, let people commit to a favorable behavior and make their commitment public. Yes? 36 behavior change techniques cover all the Ranner's factors. To conclude here, systematic behavior change enables you first to exactly determine the behavioral factors which you have to change. This is very, very tailored to your target population. Then you have a focused selection of the corresponding behavior change strategies. And if you want, you can also prove the record of success by the evaluation step, which I did not present so far. How to apply it in emergencies? Well, the key principles are: take into account all sorts of behavioral factors, not only health risk factors, but also attitude, norms, abilities, and self-regulation factors. And perform a doer-non-doer analysis. Ask both kind of people. And I would also differentiate between the acute phase, the immediate response, and in established settings like in camps. For the immediate response, you might do a rapid assessment by conducting a qualitative analysis with 10 doers and 10 non-doers. Or without any evidence, you apply behavior change techniques out of these 5 blocks. You choose 2 of each factor block and apply these behavior change techniques without any evidence. That's also possible. In established settings, you have time and resources, I think. Then you conduct a survey with 100 doers and 100 non-doers and apply step 1, 2, 3, or even 4 of the Ranner's approach. Have a closer look at our guideline about the systematic behavior change approach. You can download it on our webpage and go through it and get more used to this kind of approach. Thank you.